After 3 years, the fantasy mystery series Wednesday, which once earned over 300,000 viewers' ratings above 8 out of 10, finally returns with its second season. Not only does the original cast come back, but Lady Gaga also makes a guest appearance, and the story is even more bizarre than before. Within just a few hours of release, the ratings skyrocketed. At the very start, Wednesday is tied up in the basement of a serial killer. The sound of chains and blades scraping slowly approaches. Will she, like the other victims, be turned into a strange doll? Everything has to be traced back to 6 weeks ago. Wednesday was spending her vacation studying the spellbook left by Goody Addams, honing her psychic powers. She wanted to use it to solve a murder case she had been obsessed with since she was 6, committed by the Kansas City Skinner, a serial killer who gave the police endless headaches. Thing helped by stealing a bowling ball from the police evidence locker. As she gently touched the ball and focused her thoughts, she finally saw the face of the Skinner. To catch him, Wednesday had to board the airplane she hated the most. However, she ran into trouble during the security check. Not only that, security also found Thing in her suitcase. Wednesday calmly explained that it was a model for a mortician's convention she was attending. But the next second, security pulled out a tube of sunscreen, and since it exceeded the 100 milliliter limit, it was confiscated as well. Following her psychic visions, Wednesday quickly found the Skinner, but the moment she grabbed his arm, she accidentally triggered her ability again. Strangely, 2 streams of black tears poured from her eyes. Her visions vanished instantly, and she fainted on the ground. When she woke again, Wednesday was tightly bound, locked inside the Skinner's doll room. The Skinner slowly pushed in a cart full of knives, ready to turn Wednesday into his next doll model.
Let me show you some of my own handiwork.
With Wednesday and Thing working together, the serial case was finally solved. She realized the black tears must mean something had gone wrong with her psychic powers, but even after searching through the spellbook, she found nothing about it. The vacation soon ended, and during these days, Wednesday had been either catching killers or busy writing her novel. The family escorted Wednesday back to Nevermore Academy, and this year her brother Pugsley was also starting school. He had the same electrical powers as their uncle, but he always missed his target. Wednesday thought his ability might help her, so she trained him to hit the O in a stop sign, or else she would press the eject button in the car. A car brushed past the Addams family vehicle, and a woman stepped out passionately embracing her lover. They did not know that not far away, a private detective captured the fiery scene with his camera. On the tree behind him landed a crow. The right side of his face looked strange, and soon more crows descended all around. With a strange command from the lead crow, they all attacked the detective, scaring him into running back to his car, dialing the last call of his life. The Addams family car pulled up to Nevermore Academy. Wednesday stood at the entrance, expressionless. For her, returning to school was like returning to a crime scene. She could almost smell where the next body was buried. Morticia reminded Wednesday to take good care of her brother.
I always do.
In the last season, Wednesday stopped Thornhill's plan and saved her classmates from danger, so she became recognized as their savior. They all rushed forward asking for Wednesday's autograph, but she disliked the crowding. Fortunately, Bianca used her voice to hypnotize the group, helping Wednesday escape the unwanted attention. Just as she was about to leave, the new principal Dort arrived to introduce himself. He wanted to revive the tradition of the bonfire celebration and asked Wednesday to be the honored student guest.
I would rather be burned at the stake.
Back in her dorm, Wednesday tore down the fan posters from her wall. When she entered the room, it had almost turned into a werewolf den. Enid knew Wednesday disliked noise, so she asked the others to leave. Though Wednesday didn't understand love, from the way Enid and Bruno looked at each other, she sensed something unusual. Enid happily took out a gift, a shirt printed with a werewolf design. Wednesday returned the favor with a doll she had taken from the Skinner. Enid was very interested in Wednesday's new novel, and it was said that this work carried 2 years of her dedication. As they were talking, a sudden knock came at the door. It was Ajax delivering a gift for Enid. Enid panicked and shook her head from behind the door. Wednesday covered for her, reluctantly taking the pink doll with 2 fingers and immediately slamming the door shut. Enid explained she was no longer sure of her feelings for Ajax. Ajax still loved who she used to be, but she had already changed a lot. Wednesday gave a perfunctory reply while pushing open the storage room door. An arrow swiftly grazed past their faces and embedded itself in the wall, with a photo attached to it. Under the photo were 2 lines of writing. "Welcome back, Wednesday. I'm still watching you." Wednesday pulled down the photo, wanting to trace the mastermind, but unexpectedly, her psychic powers failed, and a stream of black tears ran from her right eye. Pugsley was assigned to share a dorm with Eugene. He seemed more cheerful than Wednesday, but inside he still preferred dark and bizarre things. Hearing that Eugene once had his stomach cut open by a monster, he shouted it was amazing. Especially when Ajax came to visit, Pugsley became even more excited. Since Thornhill was locked away in the asylum, the gardener's cottage had been empty. Principal Dort, in order to keep Morticia, offered her the cottage key and invited her to be the chair of the fundraising committee. Morticia could not help but marvel at the romantic pink decor. Since Goody Addams left, no other ancestors had contacted Wednesday. Morticia wanted to stay to help her and considered accepting the proposal. But Wednesday was not pleased. She believed she was a raven while Morticia was a dove, different and unconnected. Morticia said she had experience with ravens, and she was referring to her own sister, who was Wednesday's aunt. All these years, Morticia had never spoken of her sister, but as Wednesday grew older, she worried more and more that her daughter might share the same fate. Troubled, Wednesday wandered into the woods, where she unexpectedly saw the police investigating a case. The couple having an affair discovered the private detective's body. His entire body was covered in wounds, and both of his eyes had been taken by the crows. Wednesday discovered a sneaky man at the scene. While the man hurriedly tried to escape, Wednesday took a shortcut to get ahead. With one kick, she subdued him. Only then did she see clearly. It was the monster Tyler's father, Sheriff Galpin. He admitted that the private detective Carl was his partner, and the two had recently been investigating a strange case, which might have been the reason for Carl's murder. Before leaving, he also reminded Wednesday that the birds were always watching. Nevermore Academy had a dorm tradition. On the first night of school, they told the story of the skeleton tree. Long ago, there was a clever boy. He planned to build all kinds of machines in the future, but his heart was too weak. He was bedridden every day with only a few months left to live. So the boy designed a clockwork heart. He placed it inside his body to extend his life. The cold, ticking heart fueled the boy's ambition. He began inventing all sorts of dangerous things, and in the end, he died from his own creation. Legend said his body was buried under the skeleton tree. If you pressed your ear close to the hollow, you could still hear the ticking sound. Pugsley listened, and his face showed a thrill he had never felt before. He did not sleep the whole night and finally found the location of the skeleton tree. Principal Dort secretly asked Bianca to meet in his office. He valued Bianca's power to confuse and hypnotize, persuading her to become the student liaison for the fundraising gala. Principal Dort threatened that the school was now in financial trouble. If the fundraising target was not reached, then some scholarship students would have to leave, and Bianca was one of them. After much hesitation, she could only agree to Principal Dort's demand. Enid specially made a sweet home for Thing and even invited her werewolf friends to celebrate the housewarming. When Wednesday came back, she was forced to leave by the noisy atmosphere. She went to the music room and played her cello furiously until the string suddenly snapped. Only then did she notice an unexpected guest had arrived. The woman was the new music teacher, Isadora. She pointed out that Wednesday had many things to improve. The most important was to stop trying to control music, but to surrender to its beautiful chaos.
I cause chaos. I don't succumb to it.
The next day, Wednesday received a strange painting from a friend, a crow standing on a tombstone. Before she could uncover its secret, she found her 2-year-old novel had vanished. The thief even left a note, hinting that her novel would be burned at the bonfire. Wednesday originally had no interest in the bonfire, but now she had no choice but to attend. She searched the crowd for suspicious figures, but suddenly discovered something stuffed in her pocket. The moment her hand reached in, it was cut and bled. Carefully pulling it out, she saw the note stuck with razor blades, and it said that her novel was hidden under the firewood. Fearing her 2 years of work would be turned to ashes, Wednesday pushed away the logs and climbed right in. As the bonfire reached its peak, she finally found the novel in the center of the woodpile. At that moment, Principal Dort was about to ignite the bonfire with his firepower. As the Firebird exploded into fireworks in the sky, Wednesday barely escaped the burning logs, stepping out before the crowd. Principal Dort announced she was Nevermore Academy's honored student, and unveiled the painting that had been covered with black cloth. Wednesday felt humiliated. She was already angry, and now looking at the painting with such cheerful brightness, every brushstroke was something she hated most. So she took the microphone and spoke harshly to the students.
You thought I was your hero? I'm not. I always play dirty and I never fight fair. The only side I'm on is my own. And the only place I'll lead you is off a cliff. So do not put me on a pedestal, because I will burn it down.
After that, Wednesday grabbed a torch and burned the painting, then left the bonfire party without looking back. Enid could not understand why Wednesday suddenly burst into anger. She chased after her, wanting an explanation. But the instant they touched, Wednesday's eyes suddenly poured out black tears, and she was dragged into another space. In that space, crows circled around. Their mournful cries pierced her ears, and in front of her the most prominent tombstone bore the name of Enid.
Die because of you!
At the same moment, Pugsley carried a shovel to the skeleton tree. When he pressed his ear to the hollow, he really heard the ticking sound. Then a crow flew out, frightening him so much he fell to the ground, and at that instant he accidentally triggered his electrical power. The zombies behind him burst from the soil, awakened by the shock. Pugsley looked at the decaying corpse, and instead of fear, he felt only excitement. When Wednesday woke up, Morticia told her that black tears symbolized the exhaustion of psychic power. Once a user abused their gift, this was the result. Years ago, Wednesday's aunt had refused to listen to Morticia's advice, and in the end, she met a tragic fate. So Morticia demanded Wednesday hand over Goody's spellbook, but Wednesday refused. She insisted on finding the cause of her unstable power, and on saving Enid, who was destined to die. Sheriff Galpin's warning, the painting from her friend, and the things Wednesday saw in another space were all inseparable from that crow. She decided to ask Galpin about it, but found he had long been dead on the sofa. His eyes were taken, leaving only horrifying hollows, the same as the private detective's death. Wednesday bent down to observe Galpin's gaping mouth. Countless crows rushed out wailing. In an instant, they filled the whole room. They scrambled to smash the glass and escape, leaving only one crow with a strange right face staring at Wednesday for a moment, before flapping its wings and flying away. Wednesday had no time to chase. She wanted to first figure out Galpin's cause of death. She placed her hand on his body, but found she still could not activate her psychic power. Just then, new trouble came. Wednesday was arrested and interrogated at the police station. The police discovered that Carl had called Galpin before he died, and after Galpin's death, they did not find his phone in the room. Considering Wednesday was present at both crime scenes, the police naturally grew suspicious of her. But Wednesday was stubborn. No matter how Sheriff Santiago questioned her, she refused to speak. Gomez soon arrived at the station, and as her lawyer, he bailed her out. Back in the dorm, she was shocked to see the window wide open and Enid lying in a pool of blood.
You might end up there sooner than you think.
I was just getting you back for that fake eyeball you left on my pillow.
What fake eyeball?
Wednesday quickly realized it must have been the strange crow that placed Galpin's eyes in the dorm. At that moment, Enid's phone beeped with a message. Since Wednesday had no phone, the mastermind sent the threat to Enid instead. When Wednesday asked her to call back, the other side played a recording of Galpin's voice. It was clear the phone the police never found was now in the hands of the killer. Wednesday went to ask Principal Dort if he knew anyone who could control birds. Professor Orloff, who was nearby, thought for a moment and told her that the one she was looking for was likely from the avian clan. But Nevermore Academy had not admitted any bird students for nearly 10 years. To clear her doubts, Wednesday decided to go to Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, where Tyler was being held. The director told her not to rush. Whether she could see Tyler had to be decided by Dr. Fairburn. Dr. Fairburn was the chief psychiatrist. She had published many books on the psychology of outcasts, but she herself was not one.
It's like a vegetarian writing a book on cannibalism. I've always been skeptical of psychiatrists.
Me too. Hello, Wednesday. I'm Dr. Fairburn.
Dr. Fairburn tried to turn Tyler back into a normal person, but he was controlling and uncooperative. Meanwhile, Thornhill, who was also locked in the asylum, refused to admit her connection with Tyler. Both were difficult cases, so Dr. Fairburn agreed to let Wednesday visit, hoping another approach might open Tyler's heart. Tyler was locked in a basement cell with a special shock collar around his neck. For safety, Wednesday could only speak to him through thick, bulletproof glass walls. Wednesday told Tyler that his father had been murdered in a cruel way, and he was not the first victim. He only laughed indifferently, unwilling to provide any clues. Seeing no answers here, Wednesday turned to leave, not wanting to waste time.
Say hi to Enid for me. Tell her I'm gonna kill her the next time I see her. Make her pay for sticking her snout in my business. I want her screams to haunt you for the rest of your life.
But Wednesday was never one to take insults silently. She shot back, mocking Tyler as nothing more than an irrelevant nobody. His only use was being Thornhill's pawn, turning into a monster to kill for his master. Her words completely enraged Tyler, but just as he was about to transform, security pressed the control button on the collar. The surging current made him scream in agony as he fell to his knees, and he could only howl to vent his rage. Enid took Bruno to the dorm for a tryst, and she accidentally found a package on the floor sent to Thing by Wednesday's uncle. Looking inside, she realized it was Thing's birthday today. She couldn't help but feel upset. How could Wednesday forget such an important day?
Oh my god, what happened? Are you?
When Wednesday returns to the dorm and rescues Thing, who was locked in the box room, she learns that Enid and Bruno have both been kidnapped. The mastermind even left her a message, ordering her to find Enid within 30 minutes, or Enid's life would be taken. A card was suddenly pushed through the door crack. Wednesday picked it up and saw it was only a string of meaningless letters. Meanwhile, Enid and Bruno woke up bound together, locked at the top of the tower, with a large number of sharp swords hanging above their heads. Wednesday searched the entire school for Enid, and on the way she met Isadora. Isadora invited her to join the orchestra and play cello, and also taught her that to become a master she must learn how to be controlled by music, otherwise she would only be playing dull notes. Isadora's words gave Wednesday sudden inspiration. The letters on the card were not words, but notes. She immediately rushed to the music room, played the keys in order, and a hidden door beside the piano opened. She followed the passage all the way to the tower and took the elevator to the very top. Enid and Bruno twisted their bodies trying to break free from the chains, but they fell together with the chairs. Looking up at the swords about to fall, fear surged through their hearts. Wednesday arrived just in time. She sent Thing to pick the lock on the chains, but Thing accidentally triggered the mechanism and was pinned by a falling sword, unable to move. The ceiling was slowly descending, pressing toward Enid and Bruno, bound on the floor. At this critical moment, Wednesday noticed a paper slip on a nearby typewriter. It read, "What didn't you see?" Around the typewriter were piles of books, each stack made of works by famous authors. The tip of the sword was aimed straight at Enid. At the last second, Wednesday typed the correct answer on the machine. The sword stopped abruptly right above Enid's eyes, then slowly lifted back up. Finally, Wednesday had the chance to save Thing pinned down by the sword. The invisible person turned out to be Agnes, Wednesday's #1 fan. She had placed the novel under the bonfire and carefully planned this twisted game only to get Wednesday's attention. When Wednesday asked Agnes why she killed Galpin, she said that was not her doing, but she was willing to help investigate together. Wednesday did not agree, but she did not refuse either because the invisible power was indeed very useful for solving cases. Seeing this, Agnes handed Galpin's phone to Wednesday as a gift of becoming close friends. Bianca still had to follow Principal Dort's order, handing the list of potential donors to Morticia and asking her to consider who might support the school. Among them, the person Principal Dort valued most was Wednesday's grandmother. Though wealthy, she and Morticia had a very tense relationship, so Morticia refused without hesitation. Bianca failed her task and had to face Principal Dort. Principal Dort told her that Frump was a highly successful entrepreneur. If she agreed to donate, everyone else on the list would follow her lead. But this matter was better handled by Morticia. If necessary, Bianca could use her siren song to mesmerize her. Bianca is initially unwilling and even tries to use her siren song to hypnotize Principal Dort into stopping his coercion. But Principal Dort had a pocket watch that resisted the siren song. He was unaffected. Left with no choice, Bianca returned to the gardener's cottage and used her song to hypnotize Morticia, pushing her to persuade her mother to attend the fundraiser and give the school a large donation.
You'll have no memory I was here. Good night.
Morticia also graduated from Nevermore Academy. She had seen countless storms. When she woke from the trance, a strong impulse pushed her to call her mother, but she forced that thought back down. Late at night, Wednesday returned to the dorm, ready to continue studying Goody's spellbook, but from Thing she learned that while she was at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, her mother had taken the book. She went to her mother to ask for the spellbook and confessed everything she had encountered during this time, including witnessing Enid's death. But after hearing it, her mother only grew more worried and refused to give the book back. The only clues Wednesday had now, aside from the eyes, were Galpin's phone. She asked Agnes if there was a way to unlock it. Agnes had a shapeshifter friend who was a woman. She could perfectly imitate Galpin's appearance and use his face to unlock the phone. Inside Galpin's phone was a recording. It was Carl's final call to him before death. It mentioned evidence hidden in a cabin on Pine Ridge Road number 2015. By chance, today the school was holding a camping trip, and that road was near the campsite. Even though Wednesday hated gatherings, this time she had no choice but to join the camping trip. Pugsley brought along a vampire coffin and pitched a tent early. When Eugene wondered why he was so diligent, he peeked inside the tent and realized he had brought zombies with him. It turned out Pugsley had used his power to revive the zombie that night, chained it in the school shed, and even gave it a name, Slurp. With his careful care, Slurp had even grown a brain again. But if he went on the camping trip, Slurp would be left unattended. So he brought Slurp along, setting rocket bottles outside the tent for an alarm in case it ran away. At night, while everyone gathered around the fire, Wednesday carried her backpack and walked alone down the path, quickly finding the cabin according to the photo. With her flashlight, she searched inside, noticing signs of the mirror being moved. She lifted the mirror and found an entire wall of obituaries, the earliest dating back 15 years, and all of them were patients from Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. All the clues pointed to a woman called Lois. Wednesday touched the photos on the wall, but still could not restart her psychic power. Now her only hope was Goody's spellbook. To save Enid's life, Wednesday even challenged Morticia to a family tradition of blindfolded fencing. If Wednesday won, Morticia would return the spellbook, but if she lost, Morticia could burn it herself. That night, a group of officers who wanted to drive out the outcasts sneaked into the campsite, and unfortunately, they chose Pugsley's tent. Just as the commander was about to slip inside, he tripped on the fuse of a bottled rocket, and when he looked up, Slurp's abyss-like mouth was already aimed at him. The remaining officers fled in panic. The sound of fireworks exploding covered their screams. When Pugsley noticed something wrong and rushed back to the tent, Slurp had already disappeared. Only the officer's corpse lay bloody on the ground. Wednesday and Morticia chose a spot in the woods for their duel. They placed the glass hearts on their left chests. Whoever pierced the glass first would win. The two swords sparked in the night sky. Mother and daughter blindfolded, relying on sound to locate each other. Wednesday gave it her all, but still could not match the battle-hardened Morticia. After a few rounds, with the slightest carelessness, the glass heart on her chest was pierced and shattered by Morticia's sword. At that moment, Slurp came through the woods with an axe, ready to ambush Morticia. The camping trip was ultimately interrupted by the officer's death. The police arrived and put Slurp in restraints, preparing to send him to Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. The strange crow perched nearby stared at Wednesday for a while, then flew up to land on the shoulder of a hooded figure. But Wednesday's powers were already depleted. She truly did not know what else she could do. She pinned her hopes on those obituaries. Why did Galpin and Carl record the deaths of outcasts? Who was this mysterious person called Lois? And could she be tied to Enid's death? At dawn inside Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, Thornhill was escorted by guards to the office. Dr. Fairburn wanted her to join Tyler's rehabilitation, but she made one condition. She had to see Tyler first. Dr. Fairburn led Thornhill to the basement ward. She spoke with guilt, confessing her longing. But Tyler had no affection for her, only hatred in his eyes. His temper flared, he transformed instantly and grabbed Thornhill's throat. With her grandmother's help, Wednesday took the ashes of outcasts from the cemetery. Records showed they were all cremated here. She told her grandmother everything that had happened and complained angrily that Morticia had taken the spellbook. After venting, she said she wanted to investigate their deaths, but when she smelled the urns, she realized they were filled with animal ashes. The mastermind had finally begun to act, which meant Wednesday was getting closer to the truth. She asked her grandmother to buy the graveyard, to investigate who had signed the death certificates of the outcasts, then returned to school heavy with worry. She could not figure out how all of this connected to Enid, or how to save her life. All the answers pointed to one place, Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. And in the Addams family, the one most familiar with asylums was Wednesday's Uncle Fester. Agnes helped retrieve the asylum's blueprints. Wednesday told her uncle that he must find the person named Lois. So her uncle put on an expert performance. He checked into a small-town motel under the fake name Mr. Devil, and even settled the bill with a bag full of contaminated cash. Then, he intentionally creates earthquake-like noises upstairs, scaring the front desk into calling the police. When the police rushed in to arrest him, he was soaking in the bathtub. From his body, they found 18 passports and 33 driver's licenses. Uncle Fester did not explain. He picked up a cactus on the table and chewed it with delight. This series of actions quickly had him diagnosed as an extreme mental case. Just like that, he entered Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital without effort. Meanwhile, Wednesday discovered that her aunt had once been sent to Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital for treatment. She asked Morticia why. This time, Morticia finally admitted it. In her senior year, Ophelia suddenly went mad screaming. Black tears ran from her eyes, and she was judged to have overused her psychic power. Their grandmother wasted no time sending Ophelia to Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. Morticia begged for a long time, but her grandmother ignored her. That was one of the reasons mother and daughter had always been at odds.
Old memories are like old corpses. They never quite seem the same when you dig them up.
Mama.
Her grandmother came in person, handed Wednesday the deed to the cemetery, and told her that the one signing the death certificates was a man named Augustus. When Wednesday left, her grandmother admitted she knew the school wanted Morticia to persuade her to donate. She could agree, but only if Morticia returned the spellbook to Wednesday.
My family's not negotiable.
Inside Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, Uncle Fester kept searching for Lois, until by chance he noticed the cook's badge printed with the name Lois. Their eyes met and sparks flew. With a glance, the woman understood and slipped into the storeroom next door. But when he followed and wiped the dirt from the badge, he saw the woman's name was Louise. Agnes discovered that Augustus was not only a psychiatrist at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, but also a science teacher at Nevermore Academy. After he went insane, he was locked in the asylum as a patient. Wednesday had Thing deliver a message to her uncle to find Augustus first. No sooner had the words been spoken than hundreds of crows descended on the schoolyard. The hooded figure controlled them to attack Wednesday and Enid. Chaos broke out until Principal Dort drove the crows away with his fire powers. The lead crow targeted Thing, carrying him high into the sky. Wednesday spotted the hooded figure trying to escape and sprinted after them. But when she reached the staircase to the second floor, the figure was gone. Only a black cloak remained on the ground. Wednesday continued further inside, only to find Dr. Fairburn, who should have been at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, inexplicably at the school. She explained she had come to invite Isadora to teach music therapy at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. Just then, Isadora entered with tea, trying hard to act calm, but Wednesday noticed she was short of breath as she spoke. To investigate whether Isadora was the mastermind, Wednesday decided to accept her invitation to join the orchestra. As she left, she noticed that Isadora kept many birds. Following Wednesday's instructions, Thing secretly hitched a ride in Dr. Fairburn's car into the asylum and passed Augustus's name to her uncle. Uncle Fester easily found Augustus. Augustus locked himself in a giant birdcage, spending all his time with birds. Among them was a parrot with a mouth full of curses, which stayed by his side all the time.
I find Lois. 51971, 51971.
Uncle Fester pushed Augustus's wheelchair back to his ward, crossing paths with Thornhill on the way. When they passed by an iron door, the silent Augustus suddenly spoke, shouting, "Lois!" It was clear that this was where the truth Uncle Fester was looking for was hidden, but Thornhill recognized Uncle Fester and reported it to Dr. Fairburn, suspecting that he and Wednesday were plotting something inside Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital. After hearing this, Dr. Fairburn immediately brings security, captures Uncle Fester as he is about to enter the code to open the iron gate, and locks him in the same cell as Slurp. Things saw it all and hurried back to the school to tell Wednesday. Tonight, Isadora was scheduled to teach music therapy at Willow Hill Psychiatric Hospital, the perfect chance for a rescue. Thing teamed up with Louise. Wednesday first hid in the trunk of Isadora's car. Agnes went invisible and slipped into the asylum's security room beforehand. When security went to check the trunk, she ignited explosives in the bathroom. Amid the chaos, Wednesday slipped out of the trunk, crouched beside the car, and quickly moved inside, then under Louise's cover hid in a food cart, rescuing her uncle from the cell. But as they left, none of them noticed that Slurp had broken free of his chains. He attacked the guards escorting Thornhill, and Thornhill escaped in the confusion, brushing past Wednesday. But Wednesday had no time to care. She and her uncle reached the iron door and entered the numbers spoken by the parrot. Inside looked like a normal storeroom, but drag marks on the floor led Wednesday to a hidden cabinet door. Behind the cabinet lay a deep tunnel, carved with the full name of LOIS, Long-Term Outcast Integration Study. Lois was not a person, but an entire research project. They followed the stairs down and found multiple locked cells, all holding outcasts who were supposed to be dead in the obituaries. Their deaths had been faked, so they could be imprisoned here as live test subjects. A crow's cry rang out, Wednesday, and her uncle followed the strange bird to find the hooded figure. She turned out to be the hospital director Spanigle, and she was also Augustus's daughter. Years ago, Augustus used outcasts for experiments, stealing their powers and giving them to ordinary people, and Spanigle's ability to control birds came from Augustus's experiments. After Augustus lost his mind, Spanigle took over and continued the research. Wednesday distracted Spanigle, while her uncle built up a surge of electricity in his hands. The asylum's power system completely collapsed. In emergency mode, the cell doors all opened, and the enraged patients rushed Spanigle, releasing years of torment and hatred. Wednesday refused to leave. She wanted to first free the mysterious woman from the cell. But above ground was no safer. Thornhill took a key from a wounded guard and freed Tyler from the basement ward. Yet, Tyler knew clearly, everything he had become was Thornhill's fault. With no collar to restrain him, he transformed into a powerful monster, and Thornhill barely ran a few seconds before Tyler pierced her heart. His next target was Wednesday, who had caused him to be locked away. Wednesday covered the mysterious woman's escape. Tyler charged straight at her, his eyes burning with hatred. Police cars roared in, but ordinary bullets could not pierce the monster's tough skin. Tyler killed the officers who blocked him and vanished into the forest. Thing crawled anxiously to Wednesday, and in the pouring rain, her life was slipping away. Who was truly trying to kill Enid? Would Wednesday's prophecy come true? And what new disaster would follow now that Tyler had escaped? Let us look forward to the next thrilling chapter.